who am I defending Final Fantasy XIV from exactly? Well, myself. The truth is, I think I've turned into one of the biggest critics of Final Fantasy XIV. I started playing the game earlier this year, really excited for it. I had a lot of great things to say about it, but inevitably I feel like the game fell a bit short on my expectations, and it's just something that I continue to talk about it again and again and again. So much so that many of you have already unsubscribed and you're sick of hearing it, which I completely understand. But for those of you that are still here in this video, I'm going to only say positive things about Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not doing any of this to pander or take back any of my critiques, but I'm doing this because despite the critiques that I have for the game, I still genuinely believe that this is a great game, and there's a bunch of really great things about this game that I don't always talk about. So I just wanted to make a video where I wanted to talk about all of the things and all of the reasons why I think Final Fantasy XIV is a great game. Number one, anybody can play this game. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you next time. Make sure to subscribe. I'm just kidding. All right, so number one, anyone can play this game. This game is super accessible. You don't have to be a hardcore, sweaty gamer to get through the main story or even do the side content. The game has different difficulty settings that allow this game to be accessed by absolutely everyone, which is one of the reasons this game is so popular. It has a huge casual audience while simultaneously having content for gamers who are looking for a hardcore challenge. It casts a really wide net, which makes for a great community. Which brings us to number two, the community. Final Fantasy's community is one of the most welcoming, positive communities I've experienced online. They're not by any means perfect, we're all still human here. A lot of Final Fantasy XIV's community has come from other MMOs, such as World of Warcraft. And one of the things that's special about Final Fantasy XIV is that they make it a point to not tolerate toxic behavior that they've encountered from other games. That doesn't mean that there's not toxic behavior or their own special kind of toxic behavior, but that's for another video. Again, this is a positive video. I would say overall Final Fantasy XIV's community is very welcoming. It's very positive, and I can say that's still true today in 2023. Okay, so number three, the game's story and tone is much more mature in comparison to other games. I'm not saying that it's Game of Thrones gritty, but the story does deal with very adult themes, and this game is for sure made for people that are young to middle-aged adults. It's not a game for kids. And in my opinion, that's a plus because, hey, I'm in my 30s. I love when games are more mature and don't treat me like I'm a child. And in that same breath, Final Fantasy also doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not afraid to be silly and have fun as well. So one of my biggest critiques of Final Fantasy XIV is the fact that they seem to be afraid to kill off main story characters.
You triggered my trap card!
That's not to say that they don't do that sometimes, but sometimes it'll be a little bit vague whether somebody's dead or not, but they'll eventually come back around and you'll see, hey, they actually didn't die. While this has bugged me a lot, I also do admit this allows for every character to have a just longer and more fulfilled story arc. Sometimes a character's quick demise will keep them from being redeemed, or it'll keep something from happening that will complete that character's progression and story. That can happen, and that's kind of a tragic ending that can have its own impact in stories, but Final Fantasy chooses to forgo some of those short, quick demises, and it really allows for character arcs over a really long period of time, and that can be a very good thing. Okay, so I totally forgot what number we're on, but the next one, world building. So Final Fantasy XIV has a bunch of world building in it. If you're one of those people that likes to go around and read the dialogue of every NPC, this game will deliver for you. And that extends into the main quests and side quests as well. They make sure even if you are doing something that's like a simple side quest, they give you a reason, they give explanations for it. They try to give reason and context for everything that's going on, so it doesn't feel like you're just doing mindless quests. All right, next is the music. I don't really feel like I have to defend this. I think it's pretty unanimous. Final Fantasy XIV's music is absolutely great. I've never critiqued it. There's really, really great tracks. Different cities and cultures have different music associated with it. This is one of those areas that the game is up there with some of the greatest. The soundtrack is amazing. Going back to the community for a second, there's also so many things to do other than just playing the main game. The game is very community focused. There's nightclubs where players can just hang out, chat, and take a break. You can build your own house and invite people in it, or you can have a guild house and share it with people. And it's fairly easy to find a guild, a Discord, a community where you can just play the game with people. Speaking of that, I don't usually advertise this, but I'll let you guys know right now, I do have a Discord. We do hang out, talk Final Fantasy and other games in it. I don't just leave the link on all my social media pages because I don't like bots getting in there. But since I'm bringing it up, I will leave that link in this video if you guys want to come hang out. I will ban you immediately if you try to spam anything, but yeah, but that's one of the things that makes this game great, so I just thought I'd mention it. All right, so next, characters. This game has really good characters. They're well designed, and when there is voice acting, it's actually really high quality. And like I've said with story arcs, they have some really great characters that just have some really cool story arcs. My favorite is Astinian. I love the Heavensward storyline. Iceheart is great too. I really like Gosetsu and Yugiri as well. There's a whole bunch of characters that I think are just really well done. I think one of the things that makes Final Fantasy XIV stand out from other MMOs is that it's very quality of life focused. One of the things that the director of the game has said is that he doesn't want Final Fantasy XIV to be the only game that you play. Some other MMOs require so much grinding every single week with battle passes and stuff that you feel like you can only play that game or else you're not optimizing everything. Final Fantasy XIV is not like that. You don't have to play it 20, 30 hours a week. You could play it 2, 3 hours a week, or you could play it 20, 30 hours a week, and there still is content there for you, but it doesn't require you to know life it to play it. And then there's a bunch of other small quality of life features like you not being required to make alts to try out different jobs and classes. You can try all of the different jobs and classes with just one main character, which is a huge time saver. A lot of the fetch quests in comparison to say like World of Warcraft are also huge time savers. You don't have to do a lot of grinding in that aspect. Traveling around is pretty easy. You can fast travel to almost anywhere on the map or really close to anywhere you need to be. There's a bunch of other examples, but bottom line is this game is very quality of life focused and it really respects your time. All right, guys, so that's it. That is my defense of Final Fantasy XIV. Like I've said, I have a whole bunch of other videos where I've critiqued the hell out of this game. And that is because I think it could be better. I don't think it's perfect, but I did want to just stop, take a minute, take a breath, and talk about all of the things that I really do think are worth celebrating about this game. But that being said, you guys can watch me still continue to play through the game on Twitch. I'm getting closer to Shadowbringers. I'm in patch 4.3 in Stormblood, I believe. I'm trying to stream at least once or twice a week around the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be really hard to do, especially because Starfield's coming out, and I started playing World of Warcraft Classic for some reason. I'm still playing Baldur's Gate, and there's the Cyberpunk deals. There's so many games coming out in the next month, but I am going to continue to play Final Fantasy XIV, and I am going to beat it by the end of this year. That's a promise. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.